my God. I don't actually know grammar. I just read. I need somebody to yell at me. No, I don't. I don't respond well to that. Yay for Adderall. Wow, that's terrible. Warning! This video will have spoilers for The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Sunrise on the Reaping will remain spoiler-free. Please refer to the chapters on this video accordingly. Enjoy! Hello, welcome, beautiful bookish people! My name is Brooke, if you're new here and you don't know who I am. I'm Brooke, and I read fantasy books, except for today, because today we're reading dystopian! I have not read the Hunger Games books since middle school, and I also have not read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes or Sunrise on the Reaping. And I knew that because I wanted to read the new books, that I would have to go back and read these ones to catch all of the connections and whatnot. But also, reading Hunger Games in middle school, there is probably a bajillion things that my little brain did not pick up on, and now that I'm an adult and have a little bit more critical thinking skills, I'm hoping I can pick up on some stuff. But even if I don't, my sister is a Hunger Games, I don't want to say, I guess you could say fanatic. This is like her series. So if I miss something, I know I have her on the phone ready to go. So if I'm confused, I can ask her. But I'm actually starting this book on another vlog that has already been out. So if you want to go see my Read With Me for a Week vlog, go do that, because I do start this book over there as well. But today is Saturday, and I have purposely done all my cleaning to be able to sit down and read this for the rest of the day. So I literally don't have anything else to worry about but this. Now, this is a very short book. This is like 370-ish pages, and the font is huge and the spacing is huge. This is probably not going to take me super long to finish. We're reading The Hunger Games. Oh my God, we're getting so much of like sweet pita. I've actually been devouring this. I'm on page 130 already, and I knew I was probably gonna like go through it quickly. Also, if you can hear a buzzing in the background, that's my dryer. So we're gonna ignore that. But it's been so easy to read, and I feel like a lot of the time I'm sitting there like just my heart is like, it's breaking, but it's like, oh, this is so nostalgic. Like, this is bringing me back to middle school, and also watching the movies for the first time and then rewatching them, but also like I'm definitely gonna be reading more tonight. I just wanted to check in because, oh, I love this book. I don't want to say it's like so much better than I was imagining, because I've literally already read this book, but I think the reread is going better. Oh boy, the rest is gonna be so hard to read. It's fine. I literally haven't even gotten to the games yet. Oh no. Something I did not know, they preserve the arenas for the Capitol people to tour and vacation at afterwards, visit the sites of the deaths, and even take part in reenactments. I literally had to shut the book. Like, obviously all of this is like crazy, but also like, what? I got into bed, but I'm still reading because my husband doesn't have to wake up early in the morning, so he's not in bed. I'm not bothering him. But I didn't realize how bad my reading comprehension was in middle school, because oh my God. But I'm gonna keep reading in bed. I will check in with you tomorrow. So I stopped at the worst possible point last night. So I literally stopped when Rue got the spear thrown. I should not be laughing. Literally the last sentence was, she just has time to reach her hand through the mesh and say my name before the spear enters her body. And I closed the book. I I said, no, thank you. I said, we're gonna come back tomorrow. It's different, obviously, because the first time that I experienced this story in any capacity was when I was 12 years old, okay? That was 10 years ago. I don't know why. I think I just got tired because I have medication that I take at night to help me sleep, and I took it, and then started reading so I could like get even more tired. And yeah, so I'm on page 233. We're gonna keep reading today. I just think it's really funny. I just was like, nope. Oh, the foreshadowing. Oh boy. The comparison of the tributes to animals is relentless and crazy. Anyways, I'm on part 3. Oh my god, we're getting so much more flirty PETA. Wait, they kissed for 10 minutes? 10 minutes! That's so weird. This is a pretty big change from the movies. Are we just gonna roll past the fact that he has like a fake leg now? Wouldn't that be so challenging in Catching Fire? Hold on. Oh, I don't know what to say. Oh. What do I do now? I've been sitting here and just like staring at the wall. Definitely 5 stars. Great start to the reread. I was not expecting to be so affected by this reread, and I knew I was gonna pick up on everything that I didn't before, but like this could not have started off better. Also, I noticed a few things in relation to snow that she kind of threw in there with like, what's called? Metaphors? I don't actually know grammar. I just read. I'm definitely giving this 5 stars. It was nostalgic. It was good. I think also when I feel the need to reread a book, that's a really good sign, because if I want to reread, it means I really enjoy the story, but also it means that there's a lot of Easter eggs and details and stuff that I want to pick up on. Like if I'm sitting here wanting to learn more about the world, about the book, about the intricate writing of the author, that's such a good thing. That's why I read The Mass first twice and ACOTAR 3 times. Like, I might throw myself into Catching Fire later, but I kind of feel like I need to just give it a break right now. It's only 5 o'clock, so I'll probably end up picking up later tonight, but also like, that was so good. Oh, I cannot wait for Catching Fire. It is my favorite of the 3, and I'm very excited for it, which is so interesting because I feel like a lot of times the middle book feels just like a middle book. It feels like an in-between thing where they have to like get things rolling, but this one feels like the best one to me, even though this was such a strong start and this was so easy to read. I feel like I say all the time that I love YA books, but if they read like YA, I'm just not there. This is easy to read, but not in like a juvenile way, but it's also very interesting because Katniss is 16. So like her thoughts, they're not necessarily simple, but you can see the somewhat naivety or not necessarily immaturity, but like the tendencies of a teenager. Like, yeah, when I was a teenager, I probably would have reacted the same as well. Like, it makes sense. But the way that she wove through like political themes is just crazy. If you have not read or have not reread, I highly recommend doing that. I have already noticed a couple things that I know are going to be relevant to Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and possibly Sunrise on the Reaping, because I honestly, like, I have like no lore really in my head. Like, I don't remember really any of the lore or anything in the past about the games, or like the little tiny details that like I just never picked up on, especially in the movies too. They don't really go into like super detailed on like the backstory of things. I feel like a lot of times you get the Katniss all of a sudden be like, oh yeah, this happened in the past, and you get like a full rundown of everything, which is really beautifully woven into everything. And I think that added like back and forth of like you're thrown into the story, but like you get Katniss reminiscing through a lot of things is very, very helpful. So I cannot wait for Catching Fire. This is, I have nothing else to say. Happy Monday. Nothing much to say except I'm starting Catching Fire. Let's go. not Peeta painting the games on canvas. And she's in every single one. Peeta. That's a theme. I'm just gonna, the whole synopsis of this book and for all the books is just gonna be Peeta. Suzanne. No, I've literally been sitting at my desk just like locking in and reading this, and I've really kind of forgotten to like actually sit down and update, because this is, once again, super easy to read. I'm flying through it and it's very interesting because this is, I feel like, the first time we've seen real changes to the book slash movie, but there was a lot more time of her spending between the tour and when the quell was announced and what it was gonna be. And I feel like the movie would have been a lot longer if they decided to keep that in, but I feel like it was important because in the beginning of Catching Fire, it goes very quickly. I'm not super mad about it because I love this Hunger Games. That sounds horrible. And it's honestly like sitting here saying that I love this is honestly proving Suzanne Collins' point that because it doesn't feel like reality, it becomes a gross form of entertainment. And I'm trying to be like really careful with what I say because I'm catching myself being like, oh, this is so good, this is my favorite games. I'm like, crap, take a step back, hold on, this shouldn't be my favorite anything. Although I think there is some grace for understanding that, like, yes, this is fiction, this is dystopian, but also acknowledgement of the fact that the concepts that she put in this came from real life, and it's kind of an allegory to stuff that's happened in real life, which is very interesting to me. But anyways, again, I'm loving Peeta in this book. It is going super well. I'm about halfway through. I'm still in part 2, chapter 14. But yeah, that's where I am. I'm gonna keep reading in bed. Sometimes I don't like to sit here because I feel like sometimes my brain like shuts off when I'm in bed, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, I should be relaxing in bed. So hopefully I can get some more reading done here. I might go watch an episode or 2 of Game of Thrones with my husband. He's watching it through for the first time. This is my second time watching it through, so I'm really enjoying that. So we'll see. Since I've already read 188 pages today, I could close the book and feel good about that, but I don't want to close the book. So that's a good thing. Hi, it's the last day of me reading Catching Fire. How do I know this? Because I have 80 pages left. I could have finished it last night. Did I? No. Because I know it was gonna hurt like a butt cheek on a stick.
That hurt like a butt cheek on a stick.
And I'm procrastinating. My dog is coming to yell at me. Where are you? Where did you go? Yes, I know I need to read it. Just leave me alone. I need somebody to yell at me. No, I don't. I don't respond well to that. I need somebody to tell me that I can't do it. That's the best motivation. You tell me I can't do it, it's done, baby girl. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. TikTok. 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 All that's replaying in my head is,
you promised you would save him over me.
oh no, oh no. Oh my god. Oh. I am struggling to form words to encapsulate all of the feelings that I'm feeling by finishing Catching Fire. It's so bizarre to me that I know the story. Granted, I know that there's a few things that are changed in the movies, and yes, I have read these books before. Do I remember them? No. But I have read them. I have experienced the story. Well, okay, before I get into like the nitty gritty of it, one thing that I do wish was included in the book that I think they did right in the movie was the, you promised you would save him over me, you're a liar. That whole scene, that was like, oh my god. And it felt like it was a very telltale moment where you're like, okay, Katniss actually is in love with him. She just doesn't realize it yet because of how desperate she is to save him. And to me, there's no way that you'd be that desperate to keep somebody alive if you did not love them. Maybe it's like a screwed up kind of love because it's almost like you're relying on them for something, but in somehow in Katniss's own way, that equates to love because of her attachment. Like I highly doubt that that people in this universe know how to love properly because of the situations that they have to face in life. It's almost like trauma bonding is their version of love, if that makes any sense at all. But anyways, I think this book, I don't want to say blows Hunger Games out of the water, but like it was so very different because of the fact that there was a lot more politically going on in their world, and you kind of get an insight into, okay, this government is really trying to silence people that want something different than what's going on, want something different than President Snow wants, but the Capitol and President Snow doing everything that they possibly can to maintain control at the expense of other people. That was explored, I feel like, in great detail. Like I said, the first book, like the psychology behind it is crazy, but it's also like, this feels believable. And I think that's what a good dystopian feels like. Like, you want to finish the book. I mean, it's not a good feeling thinking, crap, this could likely happen in life. Granted, it might not get to the point of like sending people to their death in an arena, but like it could. It's disgusting in the best way possible because it is such a riveting story. I will stand by that this is going to be my favorite book. I just know this is going to be my favorite book. But this, I feel like, with the dystopian, being in the dystopian genre, and Suzanne Collins having the idea for the books by flipping through channels, going between, you know, reality TV and war coverage, and just having this like aha moment of like, all right, I got something to say about this, and then writing this incredible series. Again, things happen very quickly. You don't get to dwell on things long, but she writes in a way that it's still impactful, which I think is crazy. So on to Mockingjay. It's 10 o'clock on a Friday night, and I decided to start Mockingjay. I didn't record like the beginning of me reading this because I know that for like 50 to 60% of this book, it's pretty slow paced and not much happens. And I'll definitely throw in a segment of showing off this edition, but I've had some time with family today and some time with my husband. I'm actually only gonna read for a little bit so we can go downstairs and watch our show together. But I wanted to talk about this real quickly because I should not be surprised at this point. I've been super impressed with the book, and I think this is also where like sometimes in movies it gets annoying when nothing's happening because it feels super dragged out. But in a book, it feels like we're getting all the extra information, we're getting the explanations behind everything because you can get into these characters' heads, you get the in-between, you get the movements and the inflections of their voice and how they said things, and that gives you more information than just maybe watching a movie. Because also being autistic, a lot of the times I do struggle to interpret social signals, and so watching the movies, guys, I'm telling you, I did not pick up on half the stuff because, don't get me wrong, these actors are amazing. They did a phenomenal job. It's just me. But I missed so much, and that's honestly why I fell in love with reading again, and I don't even know why I decided not to. I think part of the reason why I never used to read a lot was because I couldn't focus on it, but yay for Adderall. I really like reading the books to get all that in-between information, the extra information that can't be shown on screen necessarily. And I think that's really what this book has been about, because I've always been fascinated, like, why the crap do you feel the need to make 2 whole movies for a book that's like 300, 400 pages? Like, that makes no sense to me. But I think the writing in this one is so far the best, regardless of the pace of the plot, because the pace is very different, and that did throw me off at first. But I'm only on page 58, so I've not gotten very far into it. But one of the quotes that really stuck out to me was, "And now Coin, with her fistful of precious nukes and her well-oiled machine of a district, finding it's even harder to groom a Mockingjay than to catch one." I was like, oh my god, I had to text my sister. I was like, holy poop nuggets. That right there, I feel like would sum up the whole book. But again, I'm very excited. I don't need to yap about this forever because I need to keep reading. But just figured I would come on here and tell you that, and I will do more in-depth stuff tomorrow. Hopefully I can read a ton tomorrow because I have not been good these past few days. But let's keep going. Katniss goes, "I guess she's used to seeing unpleasant things only on a screen." And that sums up the entirety of the Hunger Games. Suzanne again, oh my god, she goes, their ancestors clearly didn't care about what would happen to the people who came after them, but this republic idea sounds like an improvement over our current government. After they literally just got done talking about the fact that the government that they want to implement again is the same government that put them in the place that they're in now to begin with. Like, the progression is like full circle, and oh my god. You're telling me this dude walks around with a tongue piercing the size of a marble? You're just sucking on a marble all day? What do you mean? The longer I read, the more I really don't like Plutarch. I feel like they made him kind of, not lovable, but toned him down in the movies or something, because he's just disgusting. I'm a little over halfway through the Mockingjay, and this has been such an interesting experience because the pacing of this one is drastically different. Guppy, are you gonna play with your toy right this very moment? Are you choosing this moment while I talk?
That sounds about right, huh?
The pacing was very different, obviously, because in the first two books you have the games, which I've said before, I feel like I'm burnt out of the trial aspect in fantasy books if it's not done well, because here's the problem. That was kind of my problem with Lightlark. It was fine in the first book. I mean, it wasn't like revolutionary for me. Like, I had a good time. I think I rated it like 3 stars or something around there. And then it kept going downhill from there, because if you put so much focus on the plot in the first book being completely about those trials, the next couple books are going to be very hard to keep your audience engaged, because you're basically having to change the whole story and completely pivot from your main plot points. But I feel like Hunger Games does it so incredibly well, and a lot of authors have not truly analyzed how she's doing it, because sure, there's trials in the first and second books, but this is political. This is dystopian. This is about the impact that the games have on Panem as a society. And it's been so interesting to really dissect that in this book, because all the characters are like, okay, we're relatively safe in 13, which, okay, about the characters, that's why I hopped on here. I started off on a whole tangent. The characters, I feel like, were so watered down in the films for Mockingjay, at least. Like, Finnick is genuinely like having a mental breakdown every single day, seemingly delirious almost in like a crazy way. Like, he's not, he's just dealing with all this trauma, and his brain is sending all these signals and chemicals out to his body that he's trying to deal with, because what he went through is so traumatic. And Gale is so interesting because he really is just trying to find a place to fit in, because Katniss has so many times kind of pushed him away and been like, no, we're just friends. Like, I love you, but like romantically, no. And then he's like, well, you only notice me if I'm hurt. And she's like, I mean, you're not wrong, because he was like, selfishly, I know I can't compete with Peeta, not because he's not of sound mind right now, but the fact that he's in so much pain that that's where your focus lies. And it's so interesting to think about, because Katniss, for her whole life, has been surrounded by hardships, surrounded by pain, and the fact that she still is a person that wants to help other people, even if she's somewhat been desensitized to the fact that what she's experiencing is not normal and should not be, well, I guess in this society is normal, but it should not be normal, and she doesn't know how to operate when people aren't in pain, when people don't need her. And Gale is kind of realizing that Katniss is going to help those in need, and granted, yes, I do believe Katniss loves Peeta, at least somewhat romantically, but it's also kind of a trauma bond. And Gale is kind of being like super resentful about it, which, I mean, he's entitled to his feelings, but it's fascinating to read the scenes with Beatty in the lab and hear Gale talk so viscerally about how he's engineering these traps to, instead of trapping animals, trap humans, and he's choosing to do this, and Katniss is like, hold on, did we miss the whole point of the games, that like these are still humans? Like, this is what I'm trying to fight against because we were animals in the arena, and now you're purposely flipping the script from animals to humans with your transfer of skills. And I'm finally realizing too how I missed in the movies that it was mostly Gale's fault for Prim's death, because he was the one talking about dropping bombs on a certain area, waiting a little bit, letting the medics and more people rush to help, people preying on the compassionate, and then dropping more bombs to get rid of whatever people are there. And either I missed that in the movies or it was never said, but when people were like hating on Gale, because in the movies he seems fine. Like, he doesn't seem very like attention hungry and like find a place to fit in hungry. But in the books, it's like he's down in the lab with Beatty for so long and he's devising all of these war plans and ignoring the inhumanity behind what he's doing and taking it to an extreme because of his anger. And that's literally, I'm on page 226 and I got all of that from 226 pages. I won't talk your ear off for so long because I feel like the last 2 books I've talked a lot. I mean, I guess that's the point of this vlog, but anyways, let's get back to reading. I think I have PTSD from Tamlin because there's a fiddler and I immediately went, nope, I'm good. No, thank you, goodbye. There is no time to mourn in these books. No. Listen, I have had enough of the I'm so tired trope, if that can even be considered as a trope. Oh, it's so painful every single time. Oh my god. This whole conversation between Peeta and Gale. Gale said I should have volunteered to take your place in the first games, protected her then. Oh my god. Gale. Oh, the guilt runs deep. Oh, that's so hard. And then he goes, Katniss will pick whoever she thinks she can't survive without. It's fine. Suzanne, what have you done to me? I'm gonna go cry now, okay? First of all, welcome to my new reading corner. I set up this chair today, and so I'm very excited to be using it. I plan to do some like pictures of frames of like my favorite book worlds, the maps and stuff, and like fan art and whatever, but we'll get to that in a minute. But anyways, Mockingjay. Guys, I don't know what to say about this book other than, oh my god, this was insanely powerful. Like, this ending is like, it's so heart-wrenching. It is not an easy book to read by any means. As you saw, it was, oh my god, I was in tears. Just because it's hard to say it was beautiful because it was very bittersweet, obviously, with everything that Peeta and Katniss had gone through, but I loved it. I think the pacing was kind of hard to get used to at first, but once we got into the thick of it, I feel like I was fine. It wasn't an issue. It did not take me out of the story. Definitely 5 stars. But now it's time to read a book that I have never read before. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm so excited, dude. This is gonna be so good. Also, I opened it yesterday and saw that the font was so much smaller than the rest of these books. So it is totally gonna take me way longer to read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes than it has for the other 3. But that's not a problem. I'm used to reading like 600-700 page fantasy books. I'm good. Why am I nervous? I'm so nervous. Why should I? There's no reason I should be nervous. It's a book. It's fine. All this talk about potatoes and like what else they ate when Coriolanus was younger. The only thing that I can think of is potatoes.
Potatoes, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Also, I have to show you my blanket that I have. It's from Disney. It's a mermaid tail. It's got feet. I can stick my feet in here so I'm not cold. Anyways.
This is definitely taking me so much longer to read than the other books in the series, but like most books, because there's literally nothing else that I could say about my experience so far other than like this book is horrifying, but like in a really genius way. Like I've never read writing like this in truly the villain's perspective, but it's been so crazy because one second you're thinking, oh, Coriolanus, you have a little bit of a conscience, like you're not completely a monster, and then the next sentence it's like, oh wait, you are actually using real emotions and real experiences, and you're feeling necessarily like the right things, but you're turning them into something that they're not supposed to be, and the way you're thinking about them is just absolutely disgusting. And I'm having to like reread some of the parts because I'm like, did I read that right? Like it's one of those things where I'm like, this is disgusting, but like it's really good. It's really good because Suzanne is a genius. She writes beautifully. She has such a way of like really knowing her characters, whether they're good or bad. And it is so interesting because this is written from third person, which gives you an added level of she's not necessarily trying to humanize him and not at all justifying his reactions and his actions. That's what I was supposed to say. But you go deeper into, it's not just like, okay, he made this decision and that's why the games are the way that they are now. It's a story behind every single decision. It's not just like, oh, okay, we're gonna do this. It's no, he made a decision based on his experiences, based on what he needed in that moment and how corrupted he is in his head from just all of the trauma that he's experienced and how that impacted his brain chemistry. Like, I sound crazy right now because it's so in-depth and I don't know how to explain it. And I'm 40% of the way through, for crying out loud. 43%. I'm on page 236, chapter 16. I'm gonna take my time. At first, I was like, why am I not getting through this as quickly as I did? Like, this feels weird. I feel like I'm stuck, whatever. No, I'm gonna take my time and I'm gonna savor this, and it's, oh my god, it's gonna be so freaking hard to go back to Haymitch's games after this book. I already know. It's already weird going from Mockingjay and basically like not really happily ever after, but like everybody's fine-ish. They've somewhat moved on, and then now coming back to 65 years earlier. Like, oh my god. But I'm feeling a wee bit stuck. And I know that if I try to sit down and read, I'm not gonna get much reading done. So I think I'm gonna go sit at my favorite coffee shop and just lock in. Yeah, my brain's not working today. That's okay. We're gonna try to reset. If you ask me why it's taking me so dang long to finish this book, is that every time Lucy Gray sings a song, I'm literally singing the song with her and I'm taking like 5 minutes to one page just to like sing the song. The way that the dots are connecting is crazy, dude. This is crazy. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. She and her Mockingjays could never harm him again. I hate to break it to you, dude. Oh my god. Holy poop. Delusional. Okay. How am I supposed to go into Sunrise on the Reaping? Suzanne, that was mean. I'm not fine. Normally, I would give it a second and, you know, change, look somewhat presentable to sit here and talk to you about my thoughts about this book, but I'm just like so horrified and mind blown, and my brain is like not working because I'm trying to wrap my brain around everything that just happened at the end of it and everything that it implies. Because if you're not actually paying attention, you're like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, it's a weird end. And then you look into it more and you're like, oh, that's what you did? Oh my God. I'm not giving spoilers, but this is definitely 5 stars. It was one of those things where it's like you're watching a train wreck and you cannot look away. But I'm sitting here reading this absolutely vile things that Coriolanus is thinking, and I'm like, wow, that's terrible. Oh my God, wow, that's terrible too. Oh my God, like, fascinating. Learning about some of the songs that are presented in the original trilogy and some of the aspects of the games, where they come from, why these things are significant, was the strangest experience, because it's not cool. Like, it's not like, wow, that's so cool, because it's obviously terrible. It's disgusting. It's immoral, to say the least. And you're sitting here like, oh, that makes sense why this is like this. Oh, that's terrible. And so it's like a light bulb moment, but it's a moment you're like, oh, do I really want to know that information? Like, do I really want the backstory on this? Because can we all just agree, like, this is just terrible. Horrific, terrible, hated every second of being in Coriolanus's head. So 5 stars, definitely recommend. I shouldn't be laughing. I laugh when I'm uncomfortable. Okay, I will see you when I start Sunrise on the Reaping. It is indeed time to start Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm so scared. I bought the Kindle version of the book, which by the way was like $19. It was absolutely stupid because I could go buy the physical copy of the book for that price, but I'm waiting for the paperback to come out in the special edition. Hopefully they do a special edition. If they don't, well, at least I have it on Kindle, but I don't have it on my shelf. But I didn't want to read a hardcover. So here we are. I feel like this vlog is going downhill the longer that I film. My job is supposed to sit here in front of the camera and talk to you and give you my opinions. My opinions. I don't know why I said it like that. And I'm at a loss for words, and it feels so weird because I'm a woman of many words. I can talk if you let me. It's also hard without being able to spoil it for you. It's fine. Cue setting up to read montage? I don't know.
This is chapter freaking 1. What do you mean? This information is crazy. No, what the crap? What? Ain't no way. That's a lot of information. I am 30 pages in. What the heck is going on? What the crap? Oh my God.
Suzanne, slow down.
Savannah, slow down.
I'm 80 pages in. What was that? Was that really necessary? 80 pages in. I feel like now you're just trying to traumatize us. Like, I know it's gonna get worse. I can feel that it's gonna get worse. My sister has told me it gets way worse. And when you think it can't get worse, it got worse. I know that I'm signing up for emotional trauma every time I pick up a Hunger Games book. But I think this is the worst. I think this is the worst. I think Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I was just angry most of the time and disgusted at everything that was going on. And yeah, I'm angry and disgusted, but I'm like, my baby image, my little baby. I am not going to be mentally stable for the rest of this book, and especially afterwards. You're gonna leave me with little baby Hamish. So the reading experience is going well.
I know these people. Those are their, I can't say anything. That's who shows up. Oh my God. I'm on chapter 6. What is going on?
I feel like if Wyatt was in any other book, he would be in Six of Crows. He would be a crow. He would totally be a crow. Of course it is. Of course he's here. Of course.
Just, I mean, at this point, why not just invite the whole party?
Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, holy crap. I knew she was gonna show up at some point. Oh. I know this is not gonna get better. This sucks, dude. I'm not gonna say the name. He goes, it's okay to cry around her. This is a sister of someone you fight with and fight for tooth and nail. Oh, I can't do this right now. No way. He knows about her? That's crazy. What? What? Oh, I thought y'all were joking. Image. I've kind of had time to gather my thoughts. I don't know. This book destroyed me. Listen, I don't even know where to start. Like, I knew this was gonna be a heavy hitter, but I did not realize how heavy it would hit, if that makes any sense at all. Obviously, I can't say too much because this is technically the 5th book in a series. So all you need to know, this is Haymitch's games, and you might know a little bit about his games from the original trilogy and I guess some from the movie, but like you don't know. Like, you know how it ends up. Like, he's very forthcoming about the fact that, hey, yeah, this is what happened. This is how it ended up. But like the process to get to where he is now is thoroughly explored in this. I can't explain just the absolute pain and anguish that I feel for his character. I don't know if it's possible to care this much about a fake person on ink on paper. Like, this is not real. This is not real. This is not real. Definitely 5 stars. I think that goes without saying. Every single freaking book in the Hunger Games series is a 5-star. I think Suzanne is a genius. I think she has a really interesting way of writing that gets you so immersed into what's happening, but she brings up real issues and things that we need to pay attention to in real life in a way that's not necessarily like thrown in your face, but like she's calling people out for good reason, and it really makes you sit there and think about things that you really never probably would have thought of before, or brings things to light in a way that you're like, oh, I never considered looking at it like that. But at some point in life, I probably will reread all of these again because they're just so good, but my heart cannot handle anything else right now. I was on the phone with my sister last night. I was looking at my shelf. I was like, what the crap am I gonna read now? Like, what do I pick up after this? Like, do I have like a fluffy romance or something? Like, I can't handle anything intense, and it's like, it's almost put me into a slump because granted, I will be starting a new book today, but like, it took me so long to figure out what I was gonna do because I was like, I quit. I'm done. My heart hurts. You know what? I'm just gonna roll over and never pick up a book again. For the series as a whole, I think you should read it 1000%. If you have not gotten that by this point in the video, I think I need to say that to you. You should totally read it. It is totally worth it. I don't care if you've never read it before. I don't care if you've read it twice. Go read it again. I think this is a series where like you'll pick up on details by rereading that you've never picked up on before. The first read, second read, third read, which is also kind of why I like Sarah J. Maas. Like, I feel like every time I reread her books, I pick up something else. And this is a series where like I was thinking a lot about the implications of all the details and the events that have happened, and my sister was still bringing up stuff, and she was like, did you notice this? Did you know that? I'm like, no, but oh my god. I don't know what else to say. I am going to end the vlog here. If you have made it all the way to the end, thank you. This has been a very long, very chaotic roller coaster of a vlog. It was so much fun to film, and I hope you had fun too. And if you've read the Hunger Games series, the whole thing, just the original trilogy, none of them, tell me which one's your favorite or which one you're most excited to read if you plan on reading them for the first time. That's it, my friends. I will see you next time.